Hello and welcome back to me not being able to stay away from digital art for my own well-being and sanity. I was not planning on doing a digital art video for at least 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks after our fight to really force myself to take a break and do something else and focus on other things. But in a very on-brand and predictable fashion, I panicked and we're back at it again, drawing characters to help flesh out my campaign book lore. But in consideration of my mental health and also trying not to get carpal tunnel before I turn 30, I drew only one character, so it's a pretty short video that I have here today, but I am super excited to talk about her, so let's jump right into it. Now, of course, whenever my brain wants to make art, my body refuses to cooperate, so enjoy the first 2 minutes of this speed draw where it's all just me forgetting literally anything about anatomy at all. So I struggled to draw a human body. You would think after a whole month of drawing humanoid characters, no, you know what, you would think after a whole life of drawing humanoid characters, I would have figured out, oh, you know, leg go this way, body do this. But no, I couldn't possibly use 2 decades of art experience to apply to any of this at all. I do eventually figure out that the solution to not being happy with my anatomy work is to drape it all in a bunch of fabric, which more fabric is a solution to a lot of my problems, let's be honest. Actually, the whole construction of this entire outfit, which I did also struggle with, I am very satisfied with. The colors, the shapes, the various details, it just scratched a lot of very particular clothing and character design itches that I have been having. But before I get too deep into talking about the drawing process, let's take a minute to introduce the character. So, last we left off in the campaign book series, we had been talking about the 2 sister cities, Warpwood and Scorchwood, that reside in the middle of the deserts known as the Mournheller Basin. Warpwood is a large crescent-shaped city built on an oasis that is run by the priestess Solril Heavyridge. Scorchwood is a much smaller village, not quite city, that is home and training center to some of the most resilient warriors that can be found on the continent of Vassaldal. These warriors are known as the Dukain. Scorchwood is ruled by a lion-headed duchess named Valentina. A lot of you might recognize one of her 3 generals, either from a previous video or from having gotten to know and draw her for Art Fight. This is the Dragonborn Ziola, or Kytherblood, and that was from a video in like May. So after many months, I finally bring you the second installment of this new trio of strong ladies, the Cleric General Siphiwene Runregard, who is known as Tempest Soul by her subordinates, or just as Sif by her friends. Spellcasters are relatively new to Scorchwood as a formalized trained unit. However, the Duchess found Sif's abilities and tactics so impressive that she created a brand new division and gave Sif soldiers to train, as well as bestowing her the honorary name Tempest Soul. As previously mentioned, Sif is a cleric because y'all know I love a good cleric. Do I know what kind of cleric Sif is? Not at all, not in the least bit. Might mess around and make her stat block a little fun and funky fresh. Might not align with any of the existing cleric builds out there at all. And speaking of making things funky fresh, for this whole section with the 3 generals, I'm not feeling so brave as to go off and create a whole brand new subclass, but I did want to create a special background option regarding Scorchwood and the Dukain, so in case someone wanted a player who had trained under one of the 3 generals at some point, they could choose a background option that would allow them to reap the benefits of having been under the guidance of such renowned teachers like Ziola, Sif, or the 3rd name redacted general. I feel like it makes sense, and also adding character backgrounds is so much more easily digestible as someone who has never made a campaign setting lore book for D&D ever. So now stepping away from talking about the lore and D&D to talk about my color choices for this piece. I actually stopped drawing and decided to sleep on my color decision because I really like the yellow and gold that I had initially put down, because I think girlies with very deep skin tones wearing either ballet pink or dandelion yellow, ooh, Mwah, chef's kiss. But very clearly in the end, I did not go with yellow because as I was adjusting the hue slider, as I do literally in every drawing, especially ones that I'm not sure on my colors for, I landed on a sort of natural neutral linen color and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. As much as I loved the yellow, I knew in my heart that I had to put her in the linen with a very dramatic color gradient, and what's more dramatic than vampire red? Also, on a totally unrelated note, I have been playing the fully released version of V Rising. Thank you for asking, but I definitely, I don't see what that has to do with any of this. And playing a game about vampires definitely did not influence the clothing color decisions at all. But hey, check it out. I am learning my lessons that I actually talked about. I think it was my very last art fight video of this year where I was lamenting how I don't take advantage of cool makeup styles nearly enough in my art, and voila, bright red eyeshadow. Did I draw Sif closing one of her eyes because I didn't want to draw the other eye, or was it because I wanted to show off more of her shiny eyeshadow? I guess we'll never know. Also, if anyone has any questions about her Genshin Impact Conria star eyeball, I don't have answers for you right now. Best conspiracy theory in the comments wins. No, that is a joke. I mean, I love to hear conspiracy theories and stuff, but I don't want to like steal anybody's good ideas. Personally, I have a lot of ideas floating around that involve relics, maybe a saintess's blessing, and some of ye old childhood drama, because what's a cleric doing out in the middle of the desert training with generals instead of, being in the service at any number of the large temples or libraries scattered around Vassaldal? I would like to know, and I should probably figure that out because this is my character, and so that's kind of my responsibility, isn't it? Also, I will be accepting no comments on the practicality of this outfit for fighting and training, let alone the practicality of it for walking. I never claimed to be a role model when it comes to practical outfit design, and I am not planning on being one anytime soon. Although in all fairness, Inkashi's design is pretty dang practical. My excuse for putting specifically my spellcasters into fancy clothes instead of armor or something more practical is always, oh no, this is a ceremonial outfit. They would never fight in this normally. But as I previously mentioned, it was just straight up a good time. There's a lot of details about Sif's outfit that really appeal to me, the most obvious ones being drapey fabric and shiny gold accessories. We've been doing drapey fabric and shiny gold accessories, but the overall shapiness of the outfit as well as the various components are also really nice, and I really like them. I have been wanting an excuse to draw more veils and headscarves in my designs because once again, it's another reason to bring more drapey fabric into a drawing, and also I really enjoy it. I think more designs with headscarves and veils and things like that. Also, instead of just having the skirt of the dress just swoop down in that sort of bell shape, I use a lot of relatively defined triangles in the shadows, and I give it a very sharp puff so that the dress kind of goes in and out and in and then flares out fully at the bottom in a very sharp way. In deciding to go with red as the accent color and using such sharp features and shading, I actually think I'd like to rethink Sif. Sif was pulled from a story that obviously never went anywhere. I had worked on it anywhere from 5 to 7 years ago. In the previous story, she was royalty from a distant land and she had some druidic sort of adjacent powers. She was very soft-spoken, very kind, very demure, very mindful. No. The story followed alongside multiple military squads of 6 or 7, each uncovering various tangled webs about the Empire and the war. Anyways, again, that story went nowhere. Sif specifically was supposed to be a very stark contrast to the environment and the people and the general theme of distrust throughout the book. And I don't know, but between me and you, I think while drawing Sif, something about her backstory has developed a little bit. I don't know if her status as princess is something I'll decide to keep, or if her reason for becoming a general is one that comes from duty and tradition, or if it's one that has come as a result of circumstances. I think I still want her to be a sort of surprising and unusual person in the environment that you would normally be able to interact with her in. Maybe not in the quiet making space for others sort of way that she was originally. I think it's time to shake up the box a little bit. I'm not sure about the changes that I'm going to make, because I thought I knew what I was going for when I wrote about her first, but sometimes we all just, go on a big drawing adventure together and end up with something completely new, and I am 100% here for it. Okay, so I want to say that the disproportionate amount of time that I spent working on her face compared to the rest of her clothing and body is kind of unusual for me and my workflow, but the gap of the however many characters I made during Art Fight since I drew Cleo feels like it's been enough time to distance me from my usual drawing process that I honestly don't even know it's normal for my drawing process anymore. And 100% anytime that I do Art Fight, or the 1 year that I managed to complete an entire Inktober, after drawing every single day, or at least significantly more content than I usually do in such a short span of time, it always inevitably changes something about my art process or what I decide to focus on with the upcoming few months of drawing. And also, on the brief topic of Art Fight, a very congratulations to everyone who participated, and especially congratulations to Team Stardust! Finally, the team that brought me to my very first year of victory. That's very exciting for me. I'm already looking forward to next year. I'm so excited to draw more characters. Maybe not immediately, but very soon. But in the meantime, with that, we have come to the end of our very short video. But I think in this time of trials and burnouts and of very being behind on my laundry pile, I hope you will all accept my offering of Tempest Soul, aka Siphiwene Runregard. She certainly was an adventure. I went in hoping for a few things and came out learning a lot about both her and myself, but I think her and Ziola make a very striking pair. But as you all know, I could never just leave it at a duo, a pair. We have to make this a trio, because if I didn't make it a trio, it would not be very on brand of me. There was very nearly a 3-month gap between the creation of Ziola and the creation of Sif, and there is a very strong possibility for a similar gap between Sif and our third character. But also, I'm not really good at planning out my videos, especially not precisely. I try to be flexible, I guess. I don't know, not really. So who knows? Not me.